Technical SEO tips you can implement today to elevate your site and make Google's algorithm happy. You may already know or have heard of standard SEO, the search engine optimization process that puts your website content on the first page of search results. But do you know of technical SEO, the other side of the optimizations equation that improves the non-content parts of your website? Maybe not. And guess what? You are not alone. According to Google, 78% of companies have no idea of technical SEO, the process of focusing on the elements behind the scenes that visitors don't see but often affect their experience of the website. In a nutshell, technical SEO focuses on how a website works and how search engines are able to crawl and index the site's pages. You want to think of technical SEO as the foundation of your site, and you need to know how to make it as strong as possible, either working with the developer or doing it yourself. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. How you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous if you're to ask me. And if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about technical SEO tips you can implement today to elevate your site and make Google's algorithm happy. Number one, do a monthly SEO health check. This is kind of important, folks. Why? Even without signing up for a third-party tool, you can still do a basic SEO check with Google Search Console's GSC. If you use GSC, you can check for large issues such as a drop in traffic, or to see if your site has been penalized by Google in some way. A drop in traffic is sometimes a very important element in SEO because it tells you that your brand is not resonating with the public, that you are actually not having a strong value proposition, that you need to tweak something, whether it is inbound traffic or outbound traffic. You need to pay attention to a few things. You can also use the Google Search Console to find out other problems, other damages that were done to your website, quote unquote damages. The good thing is that Google Search Console has a notification feature, so they will email you with major issues, but you want to take proactive actions yourself so that you are able to stay ahead of the game. There are many improvements you can make to your SEO using Search Console information. Here we have, folks, we have committed an entire show to Google Search Console, so you want to pay attention to that. And you can even watch that show. It tells you a lot about things you can do to improve your CRO, your conversion rate optimization metrics. And here I'm talking about, you can check your ROBOTS.TXT files. You can evaluate your XML sitemaps. You can monitor whether or not there are a new set of broken links. You can even you can analyze, for instance, the bounce rate. And again, these things here, I'm talking about having a monthly SEO health check, but you can do this on a weekly basis. And you don't need to have a PhD in computer science. You can do this yourself in Google Search Console. And this could take as little as 5 or 10 minutes a week. And this allows you to keep your website in top shape. The second thing you can do is to make sure your site is mobile friendly. We live in an era where about 80 to 85% of websites are accessed via mobile. And as we all know, this is one of the reasons why Google itself is transitioning from a desktop environment to a mobile only environment. So smartphone usage is so huge that more searches are done on smartphones than on computers. So it is therefore quintessential that your website becomes, if it's not already there, becomes mobile friendly. So Google wants to, and they've made a lot of announcements in the last few weeks and months. What Google wants is they want to reward websites that offer a great experience on a phone. If you think about it, this is kind of crazy because a few years ago they were applying the same, it's not crazy, it's just surprising because a few years ago, they were actually rewarding websites that offer an impeccable experience on desktops. And then the switch was, and then the transition from desktops to tablets and phablets, and now we are in the era of smartphones. So Google, what they want to do is they want to have, and I believe they've already implemented that, they have separate search results for phone users. So you want to pay attention. Now the question is, how do you know if you are mobile friendly? There is a handy tool to check. You can test your site and work with your designer to make the improvement needed to succeed in the mobile first world of search. Google even has a feature that allows you to search for your websites using a mobile platform, a mobile interface, and see how your website performs. The third thing you want to do is you need to have an extremely fast site. If you want to elevate your site and make Google's algorithm happy, you need to have an extremely fast site. Load speed is quintessential. Think about how many times have you and I been frustrated when you have a slow loading site. Like you're trying to order pizza, for instance, and you just search it and it takes forever to load. So this is important. There is plenty of evidence showing slow loading sites perform less well. So you can audit your site using tools such as Google's Page Speed Insights to quickly compile a list of options to help give your site a little more speed. Now, there are also free tools out there you can use to test your website. We're not endorsing any of them, but there are a lot of them in there. Some are free, some are not. But the bottom line is that you need to test your website's speed to make sure that you don't have a slow loading site that may, again, ultimately damage the experience that your customers, your visitors have with your site. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. How you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. We are still having a conversation here around technical SEO tips you can implement today to elevate your website and make Google's algorithm happy. Number 4, see how your site looks to Google. How do you do that? You have several ways to do that, but you want to check that Google can crawl your content and you want to see how it looks through their eyes. You have several tools out there that allows you to do that. You have one tool called Browseo that allows you to do that. And what you're actually doing here is that by using this kind of service, and there are several, this is just this one. You have several tools out there, but they allow you to look through Google through a basic browser. So you're able to see how your website looks to Google through some kind of a browser interface. So it shows all the tags and content for the sites, along with all the designs elements that were stripped out. So you're just looking at the bare bones of the site, if you will. You're not seeing the design, the cosmetics of it. You're just seeing the bare bones. If some of the content is missing, this could be that search engines cannot read it. Something that you want to investigate further, right? Because the bottom line is, if Google is not able to crawl your site and read what kind of content you're offering, they're not going to show it to users. And another option besides Browseo and all those content crawlers, you can use Search Console. You can use Google Search Console, because that allows you also to see how your website performs, whether on mobile or on desktop or on tablet. In addition to things like loading speed and design friendliness, you're able to use Google Search Console to see how your site looks to Google. You can also take the opportunity, if you want to elevate your sites and make it Google friendly, you can fix broken links. You need to fix broken links. Now, during the life of any website, pages come and go. That's normal. This is how life goes for everything. But this can frustrate visitors when they're trying to find something on your site. Imagine you're looking for some kind of important information, and you land on a site and you start browsing, and then you click on the link, and because you are very interested in the information, and you just see your journey blocked by a dead page. Or even worse, you have a page that has been removed. Now, once you have that situation, think about the poor customer, the poor visitor experience, but also the poor Google opinion about the site. So you don't want that, because a page that is removed loses any importance a search engine has given it. So you want to regularly check your website for broken pages and links. And this, you can do this in Search Console, GSC, Google Search Console. And by using that, you will see errors that Google has found, or you can use a crawler to hunt them down yourself. Once you have found those broken links, you can do a couple of things. You can edit any internal links so they point to the right page. Then consider what to do with the old URL. If this was a valuable page or has a direct replacement, you want to redirect the old URL to its successor using a 301 redirect. Now, this might sound a little complicated, but it's not. It's really not. If you use the proper CMS, the content management system, such as WordPress, it's very easy. The 301 redirect. Number 6, you want to upload an XML sitemap. An XML sitemap is very important, especially when we look at the bare bones of a site. We go behind the scenes. It is very important. It gives a lot of info to the search engines that we as users don't see, but everything happens behind the scenes and the machines can talk to each other. The thing here is that an XML sitemap can do a lot of stuff. This is a file. What is it? An XML sitemap is a file you add to your website, normally at your domain.com/sitemap XML, and that lists the URLs for a site. So most CMSs, most content management systems can create one automatically for you, and they can even let you choose to remove certain pages. So once everything is live, you can upload to Search Console or Bing Webmaster Tools the XML sitemap. Another thing, once you upload this, please, you want to regularly check how many of your submitted pages are shown as indexed to spot problems with your pages. Because a website is nothing static, is a living being, it's a living ecosystem. So you gotta constantly talk to the search engines to make sure that the info that you would want the whole world to see is actually what Google is reading and what Google will show the whole world. Why do you need a sitemap? Several reasons. Number 1, you have to understand that Google discovers new content by crawling the web. So when they crawl a web page, for instance, they pay attention to a couple of things. They pay attention to external links on the page and internal links. So if a discovered URL is not in their search index, they can actually parse its content and index it where appropriate. Sometimes though, Google cannot find all the content this way. So if a web page, for instance, is not linked to other pages or from other pages, they will not find it, especially if the pages are not known. In other words, the pages are not in their search index. So if that situation happens, then you can use sitemaps, because sitemaps tell Google and other search engines where to find the most important pages on your website so they can crawl and index them. This is kind of critical, folks, because search engine cannot rank your content without first indexing it. So if your ultimate goal is to make your content Google friendly, you want to elevate your conversion rate optimization metrics, you want to optimize your SEO's metrics, you need to make sure search engines are finding, crawling, and indexing your content. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. How you doing today? I hope you are still having a great time with us. I really appreciate it. I want to talk to you now about number 7. But before I do so, please consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't already done so. We drop this kind of show every single day, rain or shine. And like this content, share, ask questions, and comment below. You can also like, of course, and share. I think I've already said that. Now, fix any duplicate content issues. This is the number 7. This is another tip that you need to pay attention to. Duplicate content is damageable to your site's reputation. Google's algorithm does not like it. There is more than one way to reach the same content on your site. That's what I call content duplication. Some CMSs allow you to access the same content via multiple URLs if you don't set them up correctly. Now, this is important to fix because when search engines don't know which best version to choose, they might choose a version that is not in sync with what you want. Unless you are being spammy, you want to fix that. And most duplicate content issues don't cause a site, they will never cause your site to be penalized. However, if other websites link to both versions of the page, the potential authority will be diluted. What I'm trying to say here is that for you to have authority on a specific topic or on a specific content, you want to rank. That's the keyword here. You want to rank. And if you have 2 or 3 pages that are talking about the same content, and you don't suppress, you don't delete the 2 extra pages, if one page has succeeded in establishing authority, you might actually lose that authority, or the authority will be diluted if the algorithms are crawling the wrong page, or are linking to the wrong page, or linking other websites to the wrong page. So there are many causes of duplicate content, but also some excellent fixes. So you want to check your indexed pages. You can use, using a site, you put the search and you can crawl your site to find duplicate content issues. These tasks are often cumbersome, they're often boring, but they are critical. You can even use Google Search Console or some specific tools out there. Most of them are free, and they can help you actually find and fix any content duplications on your website. The last tip I want to give you here, the last tip about technical SEO that you can use today to elevate your site and make Google's algorithm happy, is to check your robots.txt file. You have to understand, all sites need a robots.txt file. This is a small but handy file that lives in the root of your server. So you have your domain.com/robots.txt, and this is used to instruct robots crawling your site where they're allowed to go. We've spoken earlier about the fact that you cannot rank, you cannot have content authority if Google cannot crawl and index your content. So the people, quote unquote, the people at Google, the machines at Google that crawl your site, they start with the robots.txt. So that file tells robots crawling your site where they're allowed to go. So you want to have a look at your own website's robots.txt file. Are you blocking any pages you want search engines to see? You can also see whether there are sections of your sites you need to block access to, if that's your goal. Search Console has a handy tool to test your robot.txt file and see if it's working as you expect. And the important thing here is, folks, remember, at the end of the day, it's all about customer service. It's all about user trust. It's all about visitor confidence in the content that you're offering. So you want to be sure that if you allow the robot.txt files to show your content to the whole world, that it is exactly what you want. And if there are parts of your website you don't want the whole world to see at some point in time, you can actually block those pages from appearing in Google's search results by using the robots.txt file. This is the end of today's conversation. I really appreciated having you around, and just want to quickly recap what we spoke about today. Technical SEO tips you can implement today to elevate your site and make Google's algorithm happy. Do a monthly SEO health check. Make sure your site is mobile friendly. Have an extremely fast site. See how your site looks to Google. Fix broken links. Upload an XML sitemap. Fix any duplicate content issues. Check your robots.txt file. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.